and thank you for tuning in. I want to talk a bit about the importance of the Russian Dossier and how this apparent 180-degree flip is significant. And I'm talking about flipping from the story of collusion between the Russians and the Trump campaign and what the truth is. And I want to talk about reasons that are other than just the obvious ones. First, most of the major media outlets, the ones who so adamantly covered the collusion of Trump and the Russians, are paddling in all directions to try and soften the blow. In other words, they're trying so hard to distract from their complicity to the real news by attempting to distract from their assistance in all these lies. The media outlets involved, and I'm referring to the CNNs, the NBCs, ABCs, and so forth, all the mainstream media outlets that participated in exacerbating and amplifying all these lies should really be brought to justice as well. I understand and I agree with a free press and freedom of speech. I'm all for that. But they extended their rights while portraying themselves as the press. They willfully manipulated and twisted facts in order to promote political agendas. In my opinion, they should at least pay the bill for all the taxpayer money spent correcting their, quote, mishandled information. I believe they knew they were lying, but I'll play along with their claims of being misinformed, for now anyway. Let's face it, they lied, and they did so willingly and maliciously. At the very least, they should lose their press passes. Sounds trivial, but they should be slapped with heavy fines. In my opinion, every single time each of those so-called reporters impersonated a real news reporter or a real member of the press, they should face fraud charges. If I went to the White House under false pretenses, I'd face criminal charges, so I think they should be held to the same level of accountability, or an even higher level since they betrayed and continue to betray public trust to this day. Anyway, back to the dossier. What is important about the whole thing? Well, factually, Hillary Clinton's campaign funded the research for it. Additionally, they hid all the information from the public, which is illegal and it's criminal, as all campaign funding and expenses are required by law to be made available to the public. So we have those criminal charges lined up. Now let's move on to the fact that both the FBI and the Department of Justice under Obama were intimately involved in covering all of this and in misleading the public and in preventing the appropriate oversight and dislocating and preventing public access to information and documentation that is and was required by law to be publicly accessible. Well, since all this is unraveling, it's going to be interesting to see who exactly takes the fall. It's far too problematic to just be swept under the rug, and so many public faces in the media and in the government are hopefully not going to have anywhere to hide. And you got to see the parallels between this and the Harvey Weinstein scandal. They're pretty clear, and the timing is not just coincidental. Both involve powerful and influential people at all levels, and it should be no surprise that the Clintons and Obama are evidenced in both scandals. It's also going to be interesting to see all the details of the uranium deal that's now coming to light. The Clintons and Obama are deeply involved in that as well. Let's just add to their extensive resumes all of this. It might even be in the country's best interest to put holds on all their passports and survey them, like they surveyed so many of us illegally. We have enough evidence at this point for the required probable cause and other legal tests to survey all their activities, their whereabouts, and their financial transactions. I think it needs to be done to prevent them from further muddying the waters and from escaping or hiding or pretending to break their toes or disappearing or whatever. They need to answer for all this, and hopefully they will answer in prison. Wishful thinking on my part, probably. Well, that's all for this segment. Appreciate you tuning in. You can also find me both on Podbean and Blog Talk Radio. You can also connect with me on Facebook and Twitter at Real Intel Report. And for those listening to the podcast, you can check out my blog at realintelreport.com. Thank you again for tuning in, and please send me your comments, your feedback, and your suggestions. And please check back soon.